Welcome to Bible Talk Insight. We are launching into a really fascinating study today, looking at how we can pull vital modern lessons from the ancient scriptures.
We are, and our mission really is to uncover how the life and ministry of Joshua, the great Old Testament leader, how it points directly forward to establish Jesus Christ as our ultimate leader and Messiah. And we're drawing these insights directly from the Bible and, of course, from the work of learned Bible scholars.
I love that. And that forward-pointing idea,
Yeah.
you mentioned it's rooted in a concept called biblical typology.
Exactly. Typology. It's crucial for understanding how the Old Testament really prepares us for the new.
Okay, so let's unpack that a little. What exactly is typology in this context?
Well, it's a specific method of interpretation. An Old Testament person, or an event, or even an institution, we call this the type.
The type, okay.
Yeah, it prefigures a future reality found in the gospel. And that future reality, we call that the antitype.
So the type is like a mold, a pattern.
A perfect way to put it. It's a hollow form that reflects a divine design that existed in the mind of God. The antitype, most often Jesus Christ, is the complete fulfillment of that design. So Joshua's conquest of Canaan becomes this powerful historical model for God's ultimate plan of redemption.
That sets the stage beautifully. Let's move right into our first daily insight for the week. Welcome to Bible Talk Insight, as we begin our daily study with Reel 1, titled, History is Your Instruction Manual. I think a lot of us, we look at historical books like Joshua and we wonder, how is this really relevant to my life today?
That's a great question. And the thing is, the answer is given explicitly right there in the New Testament.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you look at 1 Corinthians 10, verse 11, it says that the experiences of the Israelites, both their failures and their successes, they happened to them as an example, but they were specifically written down for our instruction.
For us.
For us, on whom the end of the ages has come.
So their history is basically a divine textbook. It's designed to guide us right now.
Exactly. And you can see this connection even in the Old Testament itself. Bible scholars often point out how Isaiah, for instance, when he's describing the future work of the Messiah, in Isaiah 49, verse 8, he uses the very same terminology you find all over the book of Joshua. Phrases like allotting the desolate inheritances.
Wow, that's a powerful detail. So the biblical writers themselves understood that Joshua's work was prophetic.
It seems so. It shows God has acted consistently through history, inspiring the biblical writers to convey this single, unified message through their human words. Understanding Joshua's role, then, helps us grasp the deep context of redemption. It's not just dusty archaeology, it's directly instructional for us.
We encourage you to share this teaching with others and seek more encouragement on Bible Talk Insight or Answers from Scripture on Facebook. Welcome to Bible Talk Insight. We're continuing our daily study with Reel 2, and this one is titled, Jesus, the True Joshua. And the connection here, it really starts right with the name, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The name Joshua itself, Yeshua in Hebrew, is linguistically and spiritually tied directly to the Messiah. Joshua stepping up as a leader really foreshadowed Christ's ultimate leadership.
And the parallels between their ministries, they're just stunning. Joshua takes charge of Israel and leads them into Canaan after 40 years in the wilderness.
And Jesus, the antitypical Joshua, follows a very similar pattern. He entered his earthly ministry only after 40 days in the wilderness, as we read in Matthew 4.
Right, the temptation.
And then his heavenly ministry was inaugurated after 40 days on earth following his resurrection, as we see in the book of Acts.
That symmetry is it's incredible. And I've heard Bible scholars point to Jesus' baptism as his crossing of the Jordan.
It's a very compelling interpretation. After that baptism, the gospel writers present him as the divine warrior who would wage God's wars against evil, not with physical weapons, but through faithful obedience, even to the point of death.
And that spiritual conquest leads to something even bigger.
It does. It leads directly to Christ's universal dominion. In Revelation, chapters 4 and 5, you get this dramatic enthronement ceremony. The resurrected Christ is installed as co-ruler upon the throne of the universe. When he's found worthy to take the sealed scroll, that marks his formal inauguration into universal dominion and lordship over everything.
If you want more in-depth study like this, we really encourage you to subscribe to the podcast.
Welcome to Bible Talk Insight as we continue our daily study with Reel 3, which we've titled, Conquest or Conversion, Our Spiritual Battle.
So when we read Joshua, we see a very physical military conquest. But for us today, Well, our struggle is spiritual. 2 Corinthians 10 says our weapons are not carnal.
That's right. And it's important to remember the context of the Canaan conquest itself. Israel wasn't meant to take the land purely by ordinary warfare. They were only successful through strict compliance with God's specific instructions, and in some cases, just the report of God's mighty deeds caused the Canaanites to be, well, smitten with fear. They'd surrender without a fight. It was a demonstration of divine power and faith.
That's a beautiful parallel. The fear of God's power sometimes worked the conversion, or at least the surrender for them. So how does Christ bring this spiritual conquest to us now?
Well, Christ's life and death on the cross secured the ultimate conquest over all our spiritual enemies and offered us spiritual rest. The battle for believers today, then, it shifts inward.
To the heart.
Exactly. It involves resisting the tyrant, Satan, and conquering those internal passions that have held sway inside us. This process displays a principle that is wholly from above. It's divine grace creating an enmity against sin where there used to be, well, only peace.
So our role in this is reflective, isn't it?
It is. Our highest calling is to reflect Christ's character. As many Bible scholars emphasize, by contemplating Jesus, we become changed. That's 2 Corinthians 3.18 in action. This is why daily time dwelling on his life and his character is just, it's foundational. By beholding him, we are transformed into his likeness.
We encourage you to share these daily episodes with others who might find them helpful. Welcome to Bible Talk Insight as we continue our daily study with Reel 4 titled, The Danger of Missing God's Rest. When we look at Joshua's ministry as a type, the New Testament issues a pretty serious warning about failing to enter the spiritual rest that he prefigured.
It's one of the most sobering warnings, I think. You find it in Hebrews chapter 3 and 4. It focuses on this idea of spiritual unbelief. Joshua led the people right to the border of rest, but most of that generation never entered it.
And why? Why did they fail to enter that promised rest?
Their hearts were hardened. It really came down to unbelief and a lack of obedience. They had the promise, they had the leader, but they didn't have the faith and submission they needed to receive it.
So what does that mean for us today? What's the application of that warning for us?
I mean, the urgency is for us not to repeat that same historical error. We can't harden our hearts. To enter that rest, you have to surrender your own will completely and let yourself be guided by God's wisdom.
It's about letting go.
It is. It's about emptying the soul of self and putting your whole trust in the Lord to receive his supply and his peace. Think about it. The heaviest burden any of us bear is the burden of sin. And only Christ, the sinless one, can remove it and give us that profound rest.
For more from this series, we encourage you to get more with the main episode on Bible Talk Insight. Welcome to Bible Talk Insight. We're on our final daily study for the week, Reel 5, titled Our Eternal Promised Land. We started this week seeing Joshua lead Israel into the earthly Canaan. But that physical land was always a symbol, wasn't it?
It was. Canaan, the promised land, it serves as this powerful, tangible symbol of our ultimate eternal hope in the new earth. The scope of what Joshua achieved was always meant to be preliminary, partial. It was pointing toward a final, complete fulfillment.
So that final fulfillment of the Joshua typology it's still ahead of us.
Yes, it's eschatological. It will be accomplished at the second coming of Christ. Bible scholars detail this ultimate hope as the new earth and its capital city, the New Jerusalem, described so vividly in Revelation 21 and 22.
The restoration of all things.
It's the city God's people have been looking for since Adam was banished from Eden.
And what do we know about this future reality?
Well, it's a world free from pain, free from suffering, free from death. The redeemed, who reflect the character of God, will reign forever with Christ. The New Jerusalem fulfills all the hopes and dreams of God's people. And, just the picture of this world gives us real hope and strength for the struggles we face right now.
What an incredible conclusion. Our true leader, the ultimate antitype, Jesus Christ, accomplished the conquest and secured this eternal inheritance for us. We've come all the way from Joshua, the type, to Christ, the antitype, who secures for us spiritual rest and the promise of that eternal land. The lesson is clear. Faithfulness and obedience lead to rest. So here's the challenge we want to leave you with this week. What practical ways can you allow Jesus to reflect his character in you more completely today?
And just reflect on this. Christ stooped to take upon himself our human nature so that we might be lifted up. Because of his complete submission, his fulfillment of the compact on the cross, his struggling ones on earth are accepted in the beloved and declared justified before the heavenly angels.
We invite you to continue the conversation on Bible Talk Insight or Answers from Scripture on Facebook for daily encouragement. For a deeper exploration, be sure to find the main episode and the bonus and supplemental episodes on Bible Talk Insight. And please share these reels with others and subscribe to the podcast.